Hi, everyone. I'm God's Grin Gal, Kathy Carlton Willis, and I'm here to share with you a chapter from my book, The Grin Gal's Guide to Wellbeing. If you are part of my new program, Plus One, or if you're reading the book, The Grin Gal's Guide to Wellbeing, this is the chapter called Self-Care isn't selfish. Okay. We need to get that through our heads because we have been told the myth that if you're a Christ follower, you should not have self-care because it's selfish and we should not be selfish. Well, of course, we should not be selfish, but everything we do that takes care of our body, soul, and spirit, that doesn't make it selfish. So I just want to share some principles for you guys, things that I'm learning to, things that I'm having to remind myself, because I think it's really important as we go along with our well-being for body, soul, and spirit, that we need to take care of ourselves. And if it helps you to call it soul care instead of self-care, that's fine, because a lot of it goes back to taking care of that invisible part of ourselves. Well, I'm recording this from our brand new home gym. This used to be a garden shed. This is my first time to video from here. My husband, for our 41st wedding anniversary, decided to give me, and I guess I'm giving it to him too, because we're both using it, a gym conversion from a garden shed. And so we have spent time researching. My husband took these plywood walls, painted them. He put beautiful flooring in. We had an electrician come and wire it and get great lighting in here. We have a television in here, music, treadmill, weights. I have a Murphy style fold out desk that I'm working from. We have a weight bench, mirrors behind me. That's a mirror. So we have all the things that you would want for a home gym. And we are so grateful to get to be doing this, as we're both turning 60 this year. And it's just such a good thing to be doing for ourselves. So I guess this is a part of that self-care that I've been wanting to talk to you about. So why is self-care important? It is what refreshes us to be fit in body, soul, and spirit, to take care of the things that God left us on earth to do. So it is part of our personal stewardship that we've been talking about. Now, if you have the book, I want you to read this chapter, because I'm not reading it word for word. I want you to do the work that goes in the workbook part of it, so that you are processing what we're talking about. So when is self-care wrong? It's wrong when the motives are selfish instead of to glorify God. And we want to glorify God even as we create an environment for health and balance. That is a part of glorifying God. So that is self-care. Here are some ways I've practiced self-care just today, as we got ready to come out here in video. After writing my long to-do list, I removed an item because I realized I needed more margin in my day. So sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is to do fewer things, or expect less of yourself rather than more, so that you have that margin. I also took Hetty, our Boston Terrier, for a walk while the weather was still cool, because it's easy to get an excuse going if it's too hot, if it's rainy, if it's cold, all those excuses. But by doing it when the weather was just right and telling myself, Kathy, don't put it off, I had that great time with her. We were out in nature. I had fresh air, I had sunshine. And that's the time of day that I like to pray and plan out the rest of my day and get kind of just an idea in my head of how the day is going to look. So when I get back home, I can hit the ground running. So that was a great way to practice soul care and self-care all in one. And then I told someone no when they asked me to do something that would distract from my day rather than enhance it. They were disappointed. They wanted me to drop everything and watch something on TV with them. And I just couldn't do that right then. So it's okay to tell someone no. That is not selfish. That can be part of self-care. I prep for mealtime early because, again, I realized today was going to be a crazy hectic day. And then right after our meal, I have a coaching time with a client. And so I prepped early. That way our mealtime can go smoothly and quickly, and cleanup will be a breeze. So that was one of the things I thought ahead to have some self-care, because part of it is just giving yourself less stress through the day. And then I exercise here in my home gym. On the treadmill, I read a novel, which it feels like me time while I'm working out. I know not all of you all can read while you're on a machine, but maybe you could listen to an audio book. You could turn on a podcast. We have a television in here. I could watch a show or listen to Christian music. So all those things can make, when I take care of my body through exercise, I also look forward to that time for that invisible part of me to take a break. And today I'm also adding in weightlifting. So you can see the weights there behind me. I'm adding in a dumbbell workout today. I used to be a weightlifter and I'm looking forward to getting back into that. So even that is part of my self-care. Oh, and I'm ready with a healthy drink as well, because getting our fluids, that's part of taking care of ourselves. So those are some examples just from today. In your book, if you're following along in the chapter, Self-Care Isn't Selfish, there's a heartstrings section that I want you to read. And I want to say this: make it a priority to put into practice what you've learned about well-being while continuing to learn new things and experiment with what works for you, because what works for me may not work for you. So I want you to give yourself permission to experiment, but go ahead and put into practice the things you've already learned. A lot of times we say we don't know where to start, but we really do, because we already know a few things that we're just not implementing or we've let slide. And it's just time to get back to that. Right now in my Wellbeing Warriors group, we're doing +1, PLUS1. And each week we're adding one thing to our well-being strategy so that we're not overwhelmed by too much. It simplifies the process, but we're doing one thing to get us closer to that better well-being. Well, we're also in the book having a section for Bible study called Heavenly Insights. And I just wanted to read a few of these verses to you. In Mark 12:29-31, and this is in the Message paraphrase, it says this: Jesus said, "The first in importance is, listen, Israel, the Lord your God is one. So love the Lord your God with all your passion and prayer and intelligence and energy. And here's the second: love others as well as you love yourself. There is no commandment that ranks with these." So we've heard that before, that commandment to love others as you love yourself. I see self-care as part of this commandment. And then in Luke 5:16, it says, "But Jesus often withdrew to the wilderness for prayer." He withdrew, he pulled away from things, he took a retreat, and it says he did it often. 3 John 1:2 says, "Dear friend, I hope all is well with you and that you are as healthy in body as you are strong in spirit." Imagine God writing that to you. I hope all is well with you. Of course, he does hope that for us. What does all is well look like in your life? Or maybe you're more likely to say, all is not well with me. I've had to say that quite a few times. All is not okay. This is not okay. Self-care helps you address the things that are not okay. Notice the importance of self-care in this passage. It says he often did it. He didn't wait till it was convenient. He would withdraw even when people needed him, if he knew he needed that time alone in the wilderness. So how can it help you be healthy in body and strong in spirit if you take care of yourself? It's pretty important, isn't it? Also, Matthew 22:37-38 says, Jesus replied, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment." So let's offer God our best self, our whole self. This means we have to take care of self, and we have to do it well. Okay, under the Help Me section in this chapter, we're going to have some examples that I wanted to share with you. Think about your self-care. Maybe we should divide it into body care, soul care, and spirit care. When I inventory my needs based on those categories, I can come up with my personal care plan. And in the book, I have a section called Personal Stewardship Care Plan that helps you figure out how to set up your own. But here are a few examples. Body care. Get a pedicure to take care of excessive callus buildup. Enjoy the relaxing experience as well as the joy of having polished toenails. I just did that last week. It was only my second one this year, so it's not something I'm doing extravagantly, and I cannot take care of my feet as well as I need to because of diabetes. And so this was something for health, but it was also sort of like, pampering myself, and I loved it. And I got to do it with a friend. It was a lot of fun. How about take a nap in the middle of the day? Yes, you're allowed to take a nap, or take an exercise class designed for your level of fitness. Those are examples of body care. Then there's soul care. Write in your journal to process whatever is weighing you down. If something is burdening you and it's making your day harder, why not journal about it or pray about it? But that helps with your soul care. Inventory reasons to celebrate. Sometimes we focus so much on the negative, we forget that the positive things are happening all the time. So take some time to celebrate. Spend time in a creative outlet, like using a gift or a talent or a hobby that you sometimes neglect. Sometimes we think that we can't do that unless all of our obligations are done, but maybe we needed those things so that we have just that refreshing inside, so we can do those other things. Watch a movie with a friend in person or via a watch party. I love on Amazon Prime. I can watch on there while my friend is watching in another location, and we can chat. That's a lot of fun. And that's for the invisible part of us to get refreshed. Then there's spirit care. Spirit is the part of us that talks to God and grows in our relationship with God and is fulfilled by God's love. So that's spirit. So for spirit care, I put down, develop uninterrupted time to have a conversation with God that involves more than a list of wishes. Make a date with yourself and your Bible to study God's character, because the more we know about what makes God God, the more we can pursue godliness. The more we can become like him. And then watch worship music. Yes, I said watch, not listen, because I want you to find some that have these great videos with them. I saw one just yesterday and it drew me into worship so strongly. And if you watch one that has lyrics with it, you can read the words. And sometimes reading them as you're hearing them, it just sort of sets up a tone for worship. So focus on those lyrics as you're doing that. So we must give ourselves permission to slow down and do maintenance before we have a breakdown. Same thing with our car. We don't want it to break down. We've got to do those things that take care of it. This isn't just about physical caretaking and pampering. It's what goes deeper to the soul level. That's why I say self-care isn't selfish. John Wesley was known to ask, how is it with your soul? Soul care, I read this online and I thought it was so good. Soul care begins with this premise: I must create space for my soul to thrive. Am I doing that? Are you doing that? Prayer is the ultimate spirit care. So ask yourself, how does God want me to take care of myself right now? Here's some homework. Get out your calendar app and schedule self-care for your body, your soul, and your spirit. So maybe you want to call it body care, soul care, spirit care. Cancel one repeating obligation on your schedule that no longer fits with your purpose and passion. You need to make space for personal care. Number 3, read the self-care, soul care section in the resources in our book. Number 4, what struggles have you had this week? List them and brainstorm ways to prevent or overcome them moving forward. Here's a health check for you, for your body. What is my plan to listen to what my body needs this week so I don't neglect it? For the soul, how will I add grace space to my soul this week? Spirit, what is one example from this past week when my heart was overwhelmed and I remembered to run to God first? I'm guilty sometimes of running to a friend or my husband or even social media before I remember to run to God. So let's run to God first. And what does all is well look like in your life? Let's have some hurrahs and happy dances too. I have that every chapter in the book. List your victories from the week and celebrate them. Share them with one of your cheerleaders. Note any aha moments from the week. We need to pay attention to those aha moments. God downloads some really important stuff to us. Maybe go back over those Bible verses that I shared. If you have the book, there's questions for Bible study with them, and allow God to talk with you about that. So think about your struggles for the week. Be honest about them. Then set goals that will help turn the struggles into victories so that you can have some more aha moments. That's the discussion for this week. I want to hear from you. How did this help you? How are you doing with your self-care, your soul care? And you have some ideas that maybe it would be helpful for the others that are listening so that we can encourage one another as we go through this well-being, being well in body, soul, and spirit. I'll see you next time.